Have you ever had a dream where you're inside a house, but it's not quite your house? You know where things are, but the layout keeps changing. There's doors you don't remember, hallways that go on too long, and rooms you avoid. Rooms you didn't even know existed. And somehow it still feels like home. Today we're talking about dream houses, what each room represents, and why the basement, the place most people fear in dreams, might actually be where most of the important work is happening. Welcome to Ellis in the Unknown. I'm Krista, and this week Matti is back with me again.
Hi!
Welcome. We're going to be unpacking what it really means when your subconscious hands you the key to the house you didn't know you were living in. There's a long-standing idea in dream psychology that a house represents the self. Not a literal house, but your mind, your emotional world, your memories, and your identity. So when you dream of moving through a house, you're really moving through your inner landscape. Each room represents a different layer of consciousness. Some are public, some are private, some are locked for a reason.
Carl Jung, the Swiss psychoanalyst, didn't just study dreams and the unconscious. He also used architecture as a metaphor and a tool to understand the human psyche. For Jung, physical spaces were able to represent inner mental structures just as vividly as words or dreams could. Carl Jung had a heavy focus on learning to work with what we called shadow integration. Instead of naming and avoiding, the shadow can best be described as a person's dark side, where things we may see, or may be unconscious to, as flaws, and or experiences and traumas that may be too painful to address head-on all at once. Jung understood that despite our inherent distaste to this side of ourselves, it is still in fact part of us. Facing that shadow would be more beneficial in knowing ourselves wholly than to keep it buried to surface uncontrollably when we least expect.
So let's start with the obvious, the front door. Now, not every dream will start with the front door, but let's discuss when it does. The front door is how you enter, and symbolically how you enter situations in waking life. If the door is locked, stuck, or hard to open, you might be resisting something new or protecting yourself. If someone else lets themselves in, that's a boundary issue.
I'd also like to add that the front door often symbolizes the dreamer addressing something about themselves that is more on display or public, usually involving an external world. The back door, however, considering a lot of the same principles with locks, etc., typically relates to a more private experience that others may not be aware of, involving your internal world.
When you dream of houses, Matti, do you usually enter easily or is there resistance right away?
I'll be honest, for the most part, I'm already inside when the dream begins for me. That said, when I'm entering a house in my dreams, it's typically calmly without any resistance. So not usually locks or blocks or anything like that. I'm also usually invited in for refuge or on my own accord, as if it were any day in waking life. And based on the symbolism that you mentioned, it makes a lot of sense for me because even in my waking life, I'm quite the open book, as you know. And that goes for sharing with others and acknowledging and accepting myself. There isn't really any resistance in getting to know me.
Wow. So I wonder what that means for me because I've had dreams where I'm like, something's chasing me and I'm like trying to get in the house and sometimes I can't and then the dream ends. And then sometimes I get in just in time and close the door. So I don't know if that has any, like, what that specifically means.
Maybe you need to let some more people in.
Maybe. So we talked about the door. What I want to talk about next is the living room. The living room represents how you exist socially. It's the most public part of the house. It's usually where everyone hangs out. That's usually the first room, I think, when you enter a house is like the living room's right there. So let's talk about what the rooms, what it looks like can represent. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure, yeah. So typically speaking, a messy living room might mean that you're emotionally overwhelmed. And something like an empty living room might mean that you're kind of isolated or have some emotional distance. Typically speaking, when you are, again, in the waking world, that's where, like you said, you're spending time with people. So if you're dreaming about having an empty living room, I mean, yeah, you're probably
kind of isolated.
Yeah.
In your social life.
Yeah, good to make some friends or something.
Okay, so that's the living room. Next, we're going to talk about the kitchen. The kitchen is all about nourishment, emotional, physical, creative. Cooking often symbolizes transformation. So if you have broken appliances, that can point to burnout. An unusable kitchen can suggest neglecting your own needs. Do you dream often about kitchens? Are you feeding yourself? Like what are you doing in the kitchens if you are?
Yeah, so I actually dream of kitchens like semi-frequently. It's not like the most common room that I dream of, but I do dream of them often. Usually I'm hosting someone, one or more guests, but it'll depend on the dream if I'm eating with them or if I'm just supplying them food. And I'm wondering, again, maybe that's a sign that I'm spending too much like building into other people's lives.
Instead of yourself?
Yeah, right? You just mentioned the neglect, and I'm wondering, feeding other people and not myself, like maybe it means I need to work on fulfilling my own needs and passions.
Yeah, no, totally true. If you're always cooking for someone else, that probably says something than just cooking for yourself in your dream and putting that nutrition into you.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. Obviously, you guys can tell me and Matti both dream a lot. So this is why we love to discuss dreams. I know I didn't say that earlier, but I think I've talked about it in the past. But yeah, we could do so many episodes on dreams. So this is why we wanted to dive into like the house and every room, what they represent, because it is really fascinating and something that not everyone can like normally thinks about.
Yeah.
So what's next? Do you want to talk about the bedroom?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So bedrooms are deeply personal. There's a lot to say about rest, intimacy, sexuality, safety, and vulnerability. Shared bedrooms can point to boundary issues. Not being able to sleep in a dream often mirrors anxiety in waking life. And this room will typically show how safe you feel being unseen.
And then when we talk about bathrooms are about release and privacy as well, obviously, because not everyone's going to the bathroom with you. Mm-hmm. So dreams where you can't find the bathroom or can't use one often point to emotional bottling up or shame, which I'm sure everyone at some point has had this dream where you're looking for the bathroom. Flooded bathrooms, that's emotional overflow.
Okay, so it's not just the fact that I really have to use the bathroom, like, in reality.
I mean, that could be a factor. You don't know. I mean, your body's telling you something, but they do represent something as well.
Yeah.
Another room that not everyone thinks about, I mean, it's not in every house, but attics represent memories, old beliefs, forgotten parts of yourself. Dusty attics can mean outdated thinking. Finding items up there can symbolize rediscovering talents or truths that you didn't fully realize you still had.
There is one room also that gets overlooked quite often, and especially important for interpretation. That's the garage. Symbolically, it's one of the most revealing spaces, though, in the house.
The garage is where we keep vehicles, and in dreams, vehicles represent how we move through life. So if the house is you, the garage is how you navigate the world. The garage sits between inside and outside. It's a threshold space. It represents direction, motivation, autonomy, personal drive, transitions, and readiness for change. It's not fully public, but it's not fully private. It's the moment before action. And the condition of the car that's in the garage matters more than the garage itself, as well as if there is a car in the garage or what is in the garage, right? So do you want to talk about
the different instances? As a quick note, that's crazy to think about because thinking back, you don't even consciously think about, that's a lot of consciousness, but thinking about it, having dreams about a garage. I've had dreams with garages in them, and I never actually put any thought into it, but
it is a part of the house.
Yeah. So the different circumstances that you might find yourself in with a garage in a dream, you have the instance where your car won't start. That might be a sign of stuck energy, burnout, fear of moving forward. There's times where there's not even a car there. It might be a loss of direction or identity. Multiple cars. I don't even have a garage, so having a space where you could fit two or more, crazy. But that's usually conflicting paths or identities. Someone else's car, external influence steering your life. Maybe you're fixing a car. Self-repair, rebuilding motivation, or a new car. That might be a new chapter. Confidence, clarity.
Locked garages could mean a fear of independence. An open garage door, readiness for change. Empty garage, like we said, uncertainty about direction. Burning garage is something I found.
Whoa.
Which is forced transformation. So you have no option. That garage is burning and you have to move. And then it says a garage at night is unconscious decision-making phase.
That's a really cool thought. Like, again, even just thinking of time of day, and it makes so much sense. Like, after thinking about it, the unconscious nighttime, that's usually when you're sleeping, right? That's a
it's
good
something
point.
that I don't really pay attention to much, and I should. I mean, when you're in a house, you're usually in the house in the dream. I don't think you're always thinking, is it day or is it night? But like when you're in the garage, the door can be open. You're like, I don't know, halfway in and out.
Yeah.
Where you can be like more conscious of the day or night.
Yeah, you can see how much light is coming in from outdoors kind of thing.
Yeah. So if you're stuck in a garage in the dream, you know change is coming, but you're not ready to leave yet. So this is maybe you're in the car in the garage, but you can't get out. This often shows up when you want to change careers, you're emotionally ready, but practically afraid. You're outgrown something, but you haven't let it go. And then there's the basement, the room most people dread. In dream symbolism, the basement represents the subconscious. Everything we've buried, repressed, avoided, and refused to feel. Shadow work is the process of confronting the parts of yourself that we were taught to hide. So that's fear, anger, shame, grief, desire, trauma. And the basement is where that waits. So dark basements, if you're dreaming of a dark basement, it's fear of confronting the truth. If your basement is locked in the dream, it means avoidance. You do not even want to go in there. Flooded basement, again, anything that's flooded in a bedroom or a basement or anything, it usually means emotional, overwhelmed. It's water usually is emotional. It's seen as like overflow reaching the surface. And then exploring the basement, if you're willing to like go down there and fully explore, that represents growth, readiness to heal. If you choose to go down, that's important.
Yeah, that couldn't be me. I mean, like, even in the waking world, I'm that guy that's still like
Scared.
Yeah, I'll turn the lights off and then run up the stairs. Yeah.
I think that's most people. You always feel like something's chasing you.
Oh, you never know who's watching.
And it doesn't matter what the basement is. Like, even if it's like well lit, like an open, even my parents, it's like a what do you call it?
Open concept?
Open concept, like they have the back door. Like, it's not like you're stuck down there, but it's still, as a kid, I'm like running up those stairs so fast. If it's a cellar, then that's even worse.
Hard pass.
It's terrifying. But yeah, basements, why are they so scary? I don't know. So basement dreams tend to appear during identity shifts, healing phases, breakups, burnout, spiritual awakening, and trauma processing. Your mind is saying that we can't move forward without unpacking this.
Yeah, and Carl Jung also talks about a second basement level. This one's a little more abstract, but stick with me. He has discussed the idea of it representing a deeper, repressed, or universal subconscious, even an ancient archetypal level of the psyche. Think concepts like beauty, love, things that we can generally understand, even cross-culturally, because these concepts withstand time itself. The understanding comes from the idea that even without the word to identify these concepts, we still collectively have an innate knowledge of what it means. In terms of dreams, that second basement is where these things are addressed, which brings me to my experience. I had a very vivid experience with a second basement myself.
How did you end up in the basement? Did you start there, or did you make your way down?
So pretty much, the dream kind of starts where I am running from something, and this is outside. I'm not even in the house yet.
Okay.
This is one of the few dreams where I didn't wake up in the house.
Okay.
I'm running, and I end up finding this house in this like suburban neighborhood. There's no fences. It's pretty open. There's some trees. Really nice house. And I crawl on the roof somehow, and I'm camping up there for 3 days. I'm just like, okay, maybe I'll...
So you haven't even gotten in the house?
I'm not even in the house yet.
Huh.
And after 3 days, the host comes out and is like, yo, you've been hiding on my house for 3 days. Like, are you going to come inside? Like, you can just knock on the door. So super easy to get inside the house.
Yeah.
There was no resistance. I was invited in. So I go in the house. My family's already there. My whole family's inside, and they're staying on the upper 2 floors. They're above ground. Okay. But the host is like, you're going to be staying in the basement. So I'm like, okay. So we do go into the basement, the first level, and that basement is relatively normal. It's clean. Like everything's in its place. But then they're like, no, there's another basement. We're going to be going down there.
And how does that basement look?
So pretty much we end up going down this like really skinny staircase. And the staircase is literally like the stair itself reaches from wall to wall, and the room begins right at the bottom of the stairs. The door is open already, but it's just a small room. Door is open. There's a bed across from the stairs. That's it. And then there's another door to the right of that like stairwell.
And this is in the second basement?
This is the second basement now.
Okay.
So,
and is there a reason, like, sorry, to go back to the first basement, was there like a bedroom? Was there anything in there that you could have stayed in? Or it was just clean and
it wasn't
regular?
Empty. It wasn't empty. It had like, again, there were other rooms and stuff, and it was clean.
But
the
you were
lights
still
were
like
on.
Supposed to go to the second basement.
They wanted me in that second basement.
Damn, okay.
I was like,
scary.
I was like, okay, all right. So that's when I started to like feel a little bit uneasy.
Okay.
They did lead me down. They took me downstairs, and they were like...
So you're getting help guided down to the second floor.
Yeah. They're like, hey, come this way. And again, I was a little bit hesitant at this point, because I'm like, that's so creepy. But If they say it's safe, I'm like, okay, cool. All right. So I follow them into the second basement. I get in there and I go to crawl into bed. And again, there's nothing else in this room except the bed and that door. The door is the important part.
And you don't know what's behind it. It's just a closed other door in the... Okay. Mm-hmm. It's not like it's a bathroom or...
No. Okay. Like, I don't actually know what lies behind this door, but by the actual condition of the door, I know it's not another part of the house. It is like... It's like this rotting wood with these heavy, almost iron kind of bars across it. It's kind of giving Secret Garden, but like the less happy version. Like really creepy. Yeah. I've never felt such dark, ominous kind of energy around a door or any period.
Yeah, you just know that it's not a good door.
I'm like, whatever is behind that door is bad times. So I go to go to sleep, and the host pretty much says their goodnights, and they open that door, and they disappear behind that door.
What?
Like, I thought it was bad enough when the door was closed, but like I didn't see anything, but the feeling of the
energy coming
the aura.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I've never felt such bad aura.
And this person, the host, they didn't go back upstairs. They just went through this door.
Yeah.
Okay. Odd.
Sus. So, yeah. So I somehow managed to fall asleep. Like, I didn't have any trouble falling asleep in that room.
Okay.
I still felt safe enough that I could go to sleep in this dream. Next thing I know, I wake up.
So you're waking up inside the dream.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not waking reality yet. Yeah. Waking up in the dream, okay?
Yeah.
And this host is gnawing on my foot. Like, literally chewing on my left ankle.
No.
Yeah.
I don't like that. What the heck?
The worst part is, like
a dog.
Yeah, but like they've shapeshifted now, so they're in like some grotesque form. Like,
okay, question, sorry.
That's okay.
Did you have any weird vibe from them before? They were normal in the dream?
They felt like, again, semi-normal until I saw they had that second basement, and then I was questioning things.
Okay.
So, so
they're gnawing on your foot.
Yeah, they've shapeshifted at this point
into what?
So they're still humanoid.
Okay.
But like almost like a gargoyle-y demon kind of shape. Okay. I don't know. Like, they didn't have horns or anything, but it definitely was like...
And do you think that... Sorry.
That's okay.
Again, that they changed once they went through that door?
I think that they were still the same person. Like, I think the intent hadn't changed. Okay. I just didn't pick up on it yet.
Okay.
So... Yeah, they were gnawing on my foot. They shapeshifted. The door is slightly left open at this point. That creepy door. And I, wake up to that and immediately wake up into waking reality because I was like, this is too much.
Yeah.
When I wake up into waking reality, I literally feel that presence like leave my ankle, like in my bedroom in my parents' house. I'm 17 at this point.
Yeah.
And that was the first time in years that I was so scared and felt so unsafe, even just like in waking space. Yeah, that I actually went upstairs as a 17-year-old girl and slept on my parents' floor.
I mean, hell, I would too if I, like... Yeah. You woke up and you could still feel, like, that sensation of them, like, on your foot. Yeah, I don't like that. I mean, I don't think anyone would like that.
No. Ugh. So yeah, straight up violated, slept on my parents' floor that night. I've never, and that wasn't the first time of dreaming that door, but that was the first time of that door appearing in that second basement.
Yeah.
Like, and that was before I knew about Carl Jung's theories, which is the bigger point of...
So do you have theories on what that meant, and would you be willing to share it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because at this time you're 17, like, what did that dream... did you know what it meant then, or did you
I had
obviously hold on to it and think about it years later?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously the fact that I had it at 17, I'm 28 now. The fact that I remember it so vividly, like I'm still walking into that room. I knew that it meant something, but I didn't know what. It was probably when I was, I don't know, 19 or 20, and I was in a psych class, and we were talking about dreams and Carl Jung and all that, and psychoanalysts. When I learned about the theory, and I was like, wait, oh my gosh, I've literally dreamt of this basement.
Yeah.
And we started talking about the universal concepts. This is some foreshadowing into a podcast we're gonna talk about later.
It's gonna be another huge. So stay tuned.
Yeah,
this is something exciting that we'll be going into and have a couple parts.
Yeah. So I was already going through something with somebody else at that point that was dream related. And having that confirmation of like a universal subconscious, there's theories about how it's more than just the concepts. It's almost like I don't want to say a telepathic link per se, but it has to do with being able to connect with other people.
Yeah. And that's the second basement.
Yeah.
Where the first basement's like your own.
Yeah. It's personal
stuff, but once you go into the second basement, it's like a universal.
Yeah. Again, we're talking ancient archetypal, like this has to do with time and space continuum, which is insane to say out loud. But
that's interesting.
Right? So years later after that, I meet a coworker that had a dream of the same door. But she was on the other side of that door.
Oh my God.
And she was coming up another set of stairs. So that door had stairs on the other side that had that same rotting wood. Every step her feet were breaking through. She just knew she couldn't look back behind her because something bad would happen. And she had that repeating dream.
So essentially there's just basements after basements after basements.
That's what it sounds like.
Because if she's coming up from another basement into the second basement, so there's a third base, like you don't know how many basements there could be.
There could be so many basements. And like, again, the fact that like already we know basements to be something that's below ground level. The fact that there's rotting wood present, the moss, all of that, it makes sense, right? It's covered, there's dirt and clay and whatever around that level. So it's starting to give dungeon crawl. But about the meaning, the main question you asked there, for one, I think it's less of a direct meaning and more of an opening to understanding that the collective consciousness, I suppose, is bigger than we assume, and that as time has gone on, talking to people and experiencing dreams such as this, realizing, wow, our minds are more interconnected than we ever thought before, right? But also there's the aspect of, we mentioned how basements appear often when you're going through a life change or healing. This was at the very beginning of a very, very, very big relationship, marriage, let's call it what it was, that I was in. And I was leaving my parents' home around that time. A lot of big things were happening. So it very well feels like it was opening a door to things that I had no idea was coming my way, and realizing, hey, I'm going to have to address all of this.
No, that makes sense.
Right?
Yep.
So,
I can see that.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, thank you for sharing that dream.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty crazy. And like you were saying, it's crazy that you met a friend that had a dream, but she was on the other side of the door.
And she came up to that room. I didn't say that part, but like when she opened the door.
Yeah. Was it like the same room? Same room.
Yeah.
A bed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Super simple room. The other
I wonder if other people has dreamt the similar.
Right?
I mean, I'm sure.
It has to be. If there's two of us,
you hear about Mall World.
Mall
right?
World. We gotta talk about Mall World sometime.
Yeah. If anyone knows, but there's a freaking whole Mall World people dream about,
I've been there.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, dreams are crazy. Now going back to like a standard house, sometimes that house isn't just you, but it's a specific time in your life. So if you're dreaming about a childhood home, that could mean something totally different than like the home you are in now or your grandparents' house. So childhood can mean inner child, early conditioning. I don't know, if you're dreaming about your childhood home in that basement, that could mean something different than like right now going into your basement in your house, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is a whole other thing. Like we were saying, like with the time shift, not just like night and day, but also in your life.
Yeah.
Your grandparents' house can mean ancestral memory, inherited patterns. So if you're in the basement in your grandparents' house, that could mean like ancestral trauma, ancestral like subconscious things that you don't know about and you're not aware that you're meant to heal, right?
Right.
Unknown house, future self or identity information, which like you said in your dream was an unknown house.
Oh my gosh.
And going into that basement, like you said, was like your future self opening, going through this new... That's crazy, right?
Mind blown. Future self identity information. And okay, as a quick aside, because that right there, just nail in the coffin. I literally, like, since that was the beginning of my marriage, and then after that, I went through it would have been like 9 years at that point, I guess. All of that learning of myself, or what wasn't myself, rather. And now I'm in a place where my self-identity has never been stronger than it is now. Like, all of that lines up so perfectly.
Which this stuff means something. I'm telling you. So, it's the same house, but it's changing. It means growth is happening in real time.
That's usually my dreams for the most part.
Family members in your house, internalized voices. Strangers, unknown aspects of self. So that person, that unknown host, could be aspects of yourself that was guiding you to that point in the basement.
Wait. But the way that the stranger like shape-shifted and turned into something else was trying to gnaw my foot off, maybe they were trying to get that old version of me like away. Like maybe they were trying to start to break those pieces of me away so I could become that proper version, that new version of myself.
Yourself. Which is way better to think about than some weird
demonic
thing gnawing on your foot. It has to mean something, right?
Whoa.
Damn. Yeah. I also have here shadow figures, but I don't think you saw anything. I've seen shadow figures in my dream
no,
lots.
I have, definitely.
But rejected traits. Children represent vulnerability or beginnings. And someone living in your house instead of you is loss of control or identity displacement. And then I just wanted to mention about garage versus basement, because they are kind of similar in a way, where it's like they're both, well, I guess basement's more emotional shadow, trauma, and subconsciousness. Garage is more identity, shadow, and direction and momentum. So basement asks, what are you feeling? What feeling are you avoiding? And garage asks, why aren't you moving yet?
I like that. So one is more like about the physical, like this is the action you're taking in life, garage.
Yeah.
And basement is like, how do you address inside? It's like the internal world.
Yeah. So if the house is you, what room are you avoiding? And what would happen if you turned on the light and went downstairs? If you have reoccurring house dreams, hidden rooms, basements, send them in to ellisandtheunknown@gmail.com because I would love to hear them. And maybe in the future we can talk more and even interpret. I don't know. I mean, we're not professionals, but we do dream a lot and dreams have meaning. So I would love to listen and read people's dreams because it's fun.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Doing an episode even of just reading and
interpret. Yeah. Yeah. So make that happen, okay? Send us your dream houses. House dreams.
100%. I'm in.
And do you have anything else that you would like to share or plug?
I mean, always follow me on Instagram.
Yeah, go ahead. What's your Instagram?
My Instagram is at Matti Dawn.
Matti Dawn.
Yeah, but let me spell it because my name is not typical. MattiDawn.
Yes. And Matti is a very fashionable girl.
Stop.
Artistic, so workout. She does lots of posts. So if you're interested in that. But she will be on more and discussing more dreams. But yeah, if today's episode made you question what's real, then you stepped a little closer to the unknown. I hope you keep listening. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. And pay attention to the rooms you enter tonight.